First of all, I want to appreciate for the invitation for this Charter for Change meeting. We are very aware that the influx of refugees, especially coming from the DRC Congo, we have issues that are happening there right now. There is war, and we know after now we have received the East African forces, we are going to get more influx. That's why we have to get prepared for it. There is no way, I must say, there is no way the international community can say they are running out of funding. The refugee issue is an international issue. It's not a Ugandan burden. So the burden is on them. It is their responsibility to look for the funding to take care of the refugees in Uganda. For us as government, we have our pledges, 6 pledges, which we have fulfilled. And you know, for this particular influx, we had an appeal of around 68 million shillings to the donors on refugees, influx of South Sudan, and also the ones of DRC Congo. But as we talk right now, we have only received 16 million US dollars. That's just only 24% of the funding, and we are expecting them to take more responsibility of fulfilling their pledges. The government of Uganda has finished its pledges. We have education, we have environment, we have protection, we have so many other, the 6 pledges that the government of Uganda has done. And including those of the Prime Minister, we have been doing very well, making sure that we are doing the coordination with all these organizations that are running in the refugee response. So it is an international issue, it's not a Ugandan issue. To the host communities, we want to thank them so much for, first of all, giving the love to the people. We are Africans and we live in a communal life. Giving the refugees the love, the dignity to live with them together is very, very important. We know that we are all potential refugees. So what we are doing to our brothers and sisters, we know it could ever happen also to us, but we don't pray that it ever happens to us. But we have to treat them, continue treating them the way you're treating, and we are pledged also to support the communities, all the host communities, together with our partners, to ensure that services that the refugees are benefiting are also benefiting the host communities, so that we don't have any gap in terms of service delivery and also challenges to cause any issues any friction between the refugees and the host community. The humanitarian organizations don't know very well that we have made our appeal, and they really have to adhere to it. And we are going to continue mobilizing resources, even wherever they want us to reach, we shall reach there to be able to fundraise for resources for the refugee response. I want them also to know that we have to get ready for the more influx which is going to come again when since the operations have kick-started right now in the DRC Congo. We know more people are going to come in for refuge. Let's prepare for them and see how these people are given dignity while they're in Uganda. We thank the government of Uganda in a special way for giving refugees and also giving the open door policy. It is one of the policies that other countries are coming to benchmark how we are doing it. And you know, on top of that, we are giving refugees a settlement approach where they're able to go and live and localize themselves. So that environmental adaptation, it's very, very quick, because it gives you to live in a village just like how we... First of all, we have organizations that we are working with, partners we are working with, who are managing the issues of GBV. And definitely through the Office of the Prime Minister, the coordination is being taken to make sure that these issues. The government has also provided security in all settlements to ensure that any abuses of women are being taken care of, because we have deployed there, and we also have women constables who are especially handling cases of GBVs at the settlement. So this is observed at the settlement, and this is the support government of Uganda can give to ensure we do coordination and this kind of character. Because when the refugees come here, they have got to abide by the laws of Uganda. They don't have to come with their own strange characters. And then one thing that I must say, that we appreciate also the calmness. When they come, they adapt very fast the way Ugandans do things here, and they also try. We know there's some essence. I, for example, went to one of the countries, not in Uganda. You could see almost 70% of the women have been abused. Because you can tell when a woman has been abused. They have scars, they have... So, but when I look at my refugees in my country, although they have gone through a lot of hardship, but you don't really observe a lot of GBV issues amongst them.
We need to invest in the best for the localization agenda to work. We need to set the goal and be faithful to the resources. We need to prove the existing myth wrong and prove that we are good stewards in this localization journey. That role lies in my hands and in your hands as leaders of local and national non-government organizations. We are tired of this myth. We need to walk away from talking to practicalizing that we are good stewards. We need to walk away from verbal to proving on ground that we can support one another. We need to move away from unhealthy competition to collaboration, cooperation, and communication with one another and supporting each other with information, with knowledge, and with learning. And that is one of the things that the C4C Working Group Uganda has been able to do for the whole of this year, and yet still open to learning. What has been our success as Charter for Change Working Group? I always want to emphasize what Charter for Change is, because I've attended so many meetings and I found that many people still don't understand what Charter for Change is. And so thank you, Raymond, for the introduction remarks to clarify what Charter for Change is, how it got started, and what commitments we have. We also have them clearly displayed. Please let us look at them, understand them, and meditate upon them as local actors to strengthen our capacity to demand for accountability towards those commitments, to strengthen our capacity to demand for the grand bargain commitments, such that every time we speak from an informed perspective in terms of the grand bargain, in terms of the Charter for Change commitments.
Women are really the leaders of communities, the mothers of communities, in particular from a humanitarian context. Women are the top victims in conflicts. Women are the top victims, and women and children are really usually the first point of contacts in all these situations. So it's very important that particularly women-led organizations and organizations that are focused on women's rights not only get the voices, but they get the support. I personally got involved partly because I'm a feminist, but partly because I believe that unless we focus on the needs and interests of women and children in this country and in this continent, particularly in the conflict zones and post-conflict situations, conflict nations, we will not be dealing fundamentally with the underlying issues that led to conflicts, underlying issues that continue to lead and maintain poverty, and underlying issues that dent the growth of our children. Women leaders, it's been presented, women leaders are the best, women managers are the best, women are least likely to be corrupt, women are least likely to cause war. So from that point of view, I think it's the responsibility of governments, first of all, to focus this as a matter of priorities. I challenge all political parties in this country to put on women issues as a policy agenda strategically, but also to challenge that policymakers at governments, because governments don't do patronage and favor for women and children. Government's responsibilities as parents are surely to ensure that the most marginalized in society are catered for. And in this case, women are coming up not only as leaders and volunteers and leaders, but actually as the center of our society.